Hikma Alidu, and I'm currently the product manager for retail assets at Absa Bank. I was born in Tamale in the northern region, but I grew up in Accra, so my formative years were in Accra. I attended University Primary School in Legon, and I went on to attend St. Rose's Secondary School in Akwatia. I had my first degree at University of Ghana, where I studied political science, sociology, and economics. I did my second degree in University College London, and I studied management. The reason I chose to be a banker is because of the experience I had. I did my national service at Stanbic Bank, and at the time that they posted me to Stanbic, to be honest, that was not my first choice. I had wanted to work with an NGO. My friend's mom was a director at Abantu for Development. It was an NGO for women empowerment and all. And growing up, I had always wanted to be part of that organization. So after school, that was where my focus was. How can I get into any of these NGOs and all that? Because I also do believe that I have a great passion for philanthropy. And so when I got posted to Stanbic, I was in two minds, but I was like, let me give it a chance. And at Stanbic, I was in the commercial department, and that was actually when my interest for banking peaked. And at the end of 1 year, so I was there for just 1 year, at the end of the year, I was awarded for an outstanding performance. And I think that's when I realized that, maybe banking is not so bad, and this is probably second nature to me. So after my service, I had to relocate to the UK because my husband's job moved him to the UK. And I was in the UK for 3 years. Within that time, that's when I went back to school. I went to University College London. I studied management. I did a little bit of economics, a little bit of accounting, a little bit of finance. And after my master's, I was looking for jobs that had a management trainee program. And in the UK, a lot of entry jobs, that's how you can get in. You get in through their management trainee programs. And the reason I wanted to get into a company that was offering this is because with the management trainee programs, you have a clear path. Your career is outlined well. There's proper training. There's a proper path to leadership. There's focus on you. And some of the interviews were good. I got close to some to the rejections were outright, but I grew a tough skin. And after 3 years, my husband moved back to Ghana, so I had to relocate back with him. So I had to relocate after 3 years back to Ghana, and I was looking for jobs that offered the management trainee programs. And most of the organizations or companies in Ghana that have these programs are banks, and I think some telcos do. And I remember I also applied to Nestle, there was Unilever, and I got into Vodafone. So Vodafone has a management trainee program. It's called the Discover program. I was there for just 3 months, unfortunately, because I got into Barclays. That's what we call Absa now, but then it was for Barclays. And at Barclays, I'm currently the product manager for retail assets. So I joined Absa, then Barclays in 2017 in September. And I remember at that time, even mobile money was such a hit. When you are trying to send money to somebody, it wasn't smooth, and when your money gets stuck in the process, you have to wait 24 hours before it's reversed. And I got into banking at the time when technology was shaping the industry. And currently, you won't believe the number of things that have happened. Now you can sit in your house, you can open an account, you can sit in your house, do transfers abroad. Back in the day, all those things were not possible. You can actually have a bank account, and there's a possibility that you would never have had to step into a branch or even see a bank branch anyway. And this is because of the technology that has been embedded into banking now. So now, as you see, it's not only the banks, right? We have a lot of competition from fintech. So we have all these little companies that are also serving customers in a financial way. Some of these companies, we're able to collaborate with them. They are able to help us make work easy for our customers. Some of them too are clear competition to us, but it's all good, right? And I feel like in about 10 years, yes, finance is one place that technology will always have a big grip on. Things will always keep evolving. And like I said, when I joined the bank, Momo was a problem. But now Momo is so seamless. Transfers are extremely seamless. You can be abroad, block your card when your debit card is stolen. Like, there's just so much empowerment now. And this has been thanks to technology. And I believe in about 5-10 years, a lot of things that we do now in the banks will be outmoded. I would say we have both the hard skills and the soft skills. So the soft skills, the communication skills, relationship management skills. I must be able to build rapport with my customers, with my clients, and we call both internal and external customers. So internal customers are my colleagues, the people I work with. They are my customers because I deal with them. And we have the external customers who are the customers who come for our loans. And customer service is also a good skill to have because the way you're able to relate to people. And one big thing in my side is also problem solving, because I mentioned in the video earlier about the fact that there are some people who don't always meet the requirements for a loan, or maybe there are some issues, 1 or 2 with their salaries or something, but they still want a loan. You should be able to put on your problem solving hat and then solve their issues so that they're able to get a loan. And my financial acumen must also be top-notch. I need to understand the principles of banking truly. And finally, I think my ability to innovate is also extremely important. I mentioned earlier that now you don't have to go to the bank or be a bank branch to be able to apply for a loan. So I need to be innovative in a way that I bring products that can empower customers. So with banking, there's a lot of old school thoughts about banking, and I did say that now it's very flexible, but people still think, oh, banking is just coming into the branch, and if you're a banker, they think, oh, you're a branch manager or you work in a branch. But like I said, there are many facets in banking. There are some bankers who have never worked in a branch. Banks have diversified. Banks now do so much more than just serve your regular customer in the branch. And I think another misconception is that all bankers are rich. You know, like I said, depending on where you work, there's more money some places than others. I mean, that's in every industry. So, yeah, but I think the biggest one is the fact that people think banking is one straight jacket way. It's just a branch where you can come and take money and go away. A lot of people use personal loans. Like, it is something that people always come and apply for. And loans help us. You know, sometimes you are hot, you need some quick money. My bank is able to offer a loan within 24 hours. So yeah, we come to people's rescue. Those times people were afraid of loans because they're like, hey, when you default, the bank is coming for everything you have, and they are very hostile. So that has been the fear of a lot of people, because I know people in my family who would never come for a loan because there's the fear. What if something happens to me? What if I'm unable to pay? They'll come for my house, they'll come. But banking has evolved. And now for personal loans especially, in fact, most loans, even if you are taking a mortgage, all those things, there is something we call credit life. So all loans have to be insured. So when you take a loan, the loan is insured. So even if, God forbid, you die and you're unable to pay off the loan, the insurance company will pay off the loan for you. And in some cases, they actually give your family part of the money that you took as a loan for free. That's not even a loan, for them to be able to take care of expenses. So that misconception that, oh, loans are bad, and if you don't manage your money well, that's when you need a loan. That's actually not true. I think you can become rich by using loans. And you just have to know where you are taking the loan when you take it. So you shouldn't just take a loan and blow it on some entertainment. No, you can take a loan and invest it. And what people don't also know is that sometimes, yes, people fall into hard times. And when you are facing distress, before you start to default on your loan, come to the bank, speak to the bank, come so that they restructure it. So when you are proactive and you come to the bank and they try to restructure your loan, it's better than when you start to default. Because when you start to default, that's when people start to chase you. And yes, sometimes that can be quite hostile, it can be rigorous. So before you default, if you are having hard times, you can come in and let the bank restructure your loan. So maybe sometimes your repayment is a little bit too high. You come, they extend the tenor for you, they restructure it, and then now maybe if you are paying maybe 1,000 cedis a month as repayments, they can reduce it to maybe 500 cedis. So yeah, the misconception that loans are not good, that's not true. You need to know how to use a loan. There are lots of rich people who have made their monies because they utilized loans properly. Like I said, you can't take a loan and go and throw a party and expect that you'd benefit from it. No, but you can take a loan and build a business. You can take a loan and invest in something. So yeah, loans are not bad. Banks are not bad. We're actually working for you. Whenever you have an issue, come and speak to your bankers. And I tell you what, they would actually be happy to help you because no bank wants to run at a loss. So why won't I help you restructure your loan? We don't like it when people default, and so we try to help people not to default. And that is why when you come for a loan, one thing that is taken into consideration is your debt service ratio, so your DSR. So you have to make sure that you are able to pay your loan. Because we could have said, oh, you can take 100,000 when in actual fact, taking that 100,000 will be putting pressure on your salary. We don't want that. So we like, instead of the 100,000, your DSR allows you to take maybe 50,000. And with that 50,000, you can repay your loan without any issues. So again, banks are your friends. Loans are good for everybody if you use them wisely. And I mentioned earlier that banks are not as hostile as we think they are. And secondly, the most important point actually is the fact that every loan is insured now. So when you take a loan, if you ask your bankers, you'll be charged for an insurance. It's a one-time fee. So once you pay it, when something happens to you, and sometimes it's not only death, when you actually lose your job, you get money from the insurance. The insurance will pay for your loan for 6 months. Or when you get a disability, the insurance company will pay off your loan. So that fear of loan, people should expand just in their minds. Yeah. The best career advice I've ever received. I remember one time somebody told me that I should be so good at what I do that even when people try to discriminate against me, they cannot get anything solid against me. And I think that has been something that I put behind my mind, right? Every time I'm doing something, I don't like to do things and leave them uncompleted or leave them at a subpar level. I always prefer to do things so that when somebody picks my work, the person would be like, okay, this is well done. And the reason that advice is very important to me is because people have their prejudices. You know, somebody will say, oh, you're a mother, you probably can't take this job. You're a woman, this might be too tough for you, you know? But you need to prove to them that, look, my gender or my roles as a mother should not affect the quality of work I do. My work should speak for itself. Usually on LinkedIn, if you don't know already, LinkedIn gives a lot of pressure. So sometimes when I just go through LinkedIn, like try to say, okay, in the next 1 year or 2 years, do I still want to be in my role? Where do I want to go? And then I find people who are doing what I want to do. And I usually go and check, okay, what are the skills they have? What are the certifications they got? And usually that, leads me or guides me in making selections. So I know that, okay, for me to become maybe an investment banker, I need to have this certification. I need to take this course. My bank offers developmental programs as well, but sometimes you need to be proactive and take the step ahead. And for my team, usually at the beginning of the year, there's a template we share. Everybody should let us know what trainings they want. Some of them, the bank doesn't offer them, but if it's something that we know is important for you, the bank will pay for you to go and have it. So for myself, I always check, see, okay, what am I lacking? Sometimes you have to check yourself. Just because everybody is doing it doesn't mean you need to do it. You need to be sure that it's relevant to where you want to go. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I just scout through LinkedIn. I see that, okay, this person has a role that I'm interested in the next few years. So I just go on the person's profile. What are the courses, certifications that the person has that I don't have, that I feel like maybe this is what would make me get an opportunity where I want to go. Then I start to put it down. So I have a number of courses that I've listed that I want to conquer. Sometimes it's easier said than done because some of these courses you need full attention, but it's all the determination. So I think I would have gone back to even what I would have studied. I probably would have taken economics more seriously. Just because I feel like that's a skill that, is in hot demand, right? And a lot of the places that I've applied to or that was in the past, like I've dreamt like, oh, this is a dream job. Like most of the time, they want somebody who had some sort of economics, some sort of accounting, finance. So maybe I would have taken those courses a lot more seriously. And at the time when I probably had a lot more time on my hands, I would have, done all those certifications, the difficult ones. There's this saying that eats the frog. So those things, we always be like, okay, later. But I feel like when you are a lot younger, you have a lot more energy, some of these things, you should conquer them and rather save the relaxation for older years. They think, people say, oh, when you are young, have fun. No. I think when you are young, you have more energy. And so sometimes that is when you should eat the frog, so that in your later years, I'm not saying I'm that old, I'm just saying I've been young. So maybe, yes, I should have pushed myself a lot harder when I was younger. One, confidence plays a big role, and research, learn. Like, don't let anybody intimidate you. If you're going for an interview, the first thing you have to do, read about the company, research it as if you were going to buy the company and you wanted to find out everything about the company. And like I said, work on your confidence, because usually when you start talking, it takes just about 5 to 10 seconds for people to make a decision on you. And then people just decide, this girl, she's not confident, especially the females, the women. You need to work on your confidence. When you are going for your interviews, you need to practice, like I said, as if you were going to buy that company. On Google, the name of the company, go to news. On Google, there's images, there's news. Go to news. Anything concerning that company will be there. Read about it so that you are aware of what is happening. Don't doubt yourself. Push. You never know. And don't think you're not ready. A lot of times, people learn on the job. And people who even know some of the things before they apply for the job, a lot of it is theory. So it is when they get onto the job that they actually practice it. So you are almost the same as a person. So don't discourage yourself. Apply for the job. Let the job say no to you. Don't say no to yourself. There will be a lot of times that people will say no to you. So allow them to say no to you. But you yourself, don't say no to yourself. If you see that job and you think you meet, I'm not saying go and be applying anyhow when you don't have the qualification, no. But don't wait to be 100% qualified. That thing, I'm sure you know, don't wait to be 100% qualified. Even if you're about 60 to 70% qualified, you can still go and succeed on the role. So.